reason why you are able to walk around and enjoy Hollywood is because your fathers had to kill, they had to rape, and they had to murder innocent people for you to have that opportunity. Does it make sense? The Lord hates Esau. And if you so-called white people, you are descended from a man named Esau in the Bible. I think you better learn your history, okay? You are the original caveman. And this is the original caveman that you see right here. The original.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy.
As a young black man, I feel that I have an obligation to my race of people. Not to no other race or no other nationality, just to black people. As a young black man, I feel that I have an obligation to my race of people. Not to no other race or no other nationality, just to black people.
But there's so many lies that we believe and so many doctrines within doctrines in the Christian church. Like they say, plead the blood of Jesus. What the hell does that mean? The prophets of the Lord are being rose up again in this time period to bring back the Lord's chosen people. That's and right. To stand on our feet and be those people again. That
your ancestors wasn't junkies. They wasn't getting high and, you know what I mean, hating one another and killing one another. You know why? Because they was being killed by the slave master. They wasn't, your ancestors had a different mindset, and if you really think about it, our ancestors were stronger than us and they were better than us. You know why? Because they knew they had an enemy and they knew who their enemy was. Today, black people don't know who your enemy is.
How the hell you think we got this truth? The I.S.U.P.K didn't come out of thin air. This truth comes from slaves, remembering that they were the children of Israel. We are the children of God. And if you don't understand it yet, you will understand it. We will bring it to you. We will get it through your brain that you are God's chosen people. And there is no dream. There is no thing. There is no success without learning who you are as a people.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
You see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above when they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop it. Ass she the pride. Give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that. Let bygone be. Boy, your ass need to stop it. Ass she the pride. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I tell you once, won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed it up for parole. Because of the COVID, it feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Know it's gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass she the prophets. You know, like we gonna all come together. Cause you know what I'm saying, they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world to know. Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass she the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass she the problem. With step, I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go, let's go. I ain't taking no loss, ain't no token when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slave. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high, got your baby pass through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby soul belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will fail you, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. But Plus your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ass see the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christian.
Hey, shalom. Let's clap it up. Shalom, Israel. This priest and officer at the Wagga Bar. We're about to get into it. This is a scripture breakdown class. If you have any questions, please post them so that we can get to them, get to the answer, the solution to your question, answer that question. And before I start, do anybody have any questions? Any of you brothers? Yeah, so like I said before, this is a scripture breakdown class. We're just going to be going over various scriptures, talk about some hot topics that have happened in the past week. There's one topic that I do want to go over. Last weekend, we went out to camp. Let's clap it up. We went out to camp for the first time in I don't know how long. I think it was probably since the conflict in Israel, probably about that time. That's been about 7-8 months. So that's the last time we actually been out on the streets. And it was refreshing to be out there hitting the streets. It was a regional camp with brothers from Vegas, Arizona, Northern California. So we got it in, rocked it out. And in that same weekend, you had a lot of Juneteenth celebrations. And in Texas, that's Round Rock, Texas, there was a shooting at a Juneteenth celebration. And I believe 14 people were hit. If you could you give me an article on that? I believe 14 people were hit, but definitely 2 sisters were unalived at this Juneteenth event. This event that is all about unity and all about Black people coming together and being unified and dignified and learning about their history and enjoying each other. Well, this is what happened at a Juneteenth event. And I don't even know if I ever even heard of a shooting at a Juneteenth event. This is probably the first time I've ever heard it. You know, this is the first time I know that I can, in my memory, that I can remember. Now, I know that when it comes to our people, as far as how we treat one another and how we live, we don't know how to get along anywhere. And that just goes back to the beauty of the I.S.U.P.K, because we congregate all the time. We have cookouts, you know, all over the world. And you don't have to worry about those things that people in the world have to worry about. Okay. You found something?
All
right, let me hear it. Turn the mic towards you guys.
Right here.
Yes.
This is a Mansfield mother killed in a Round Rock Juneteenth shooting in Dallas. Or something like it. The Mansfield mother killed during a Juneteenth celebration.
I wanted this in general. We're just talking about a mother.
Oh, it's talking about like the victim. So like
It was two people actually.
Constant.
So find something that's just in general about. I'm sure there's plenty of stories. And what you got to also remember is that when it comes to our community and the media, they nitpick stories. So during Juneteenth, there's a lot of things that went on. There's a on Father's Day weekend, there was some Edomite that unalived his father, his 71-year-old father, but you didn't hear about that. So what I'm saying is they nitpick stories, but this story is pertinent to our situation and to us learning who we are and how we deal and treat one another. Go ahead.
Come on. What was supposed to be an evening and celebration ended in a tragedy in Texas. Gunfire broke out during a Juneteenth event in Round Rock, killing 2 people and 14 others wounded.
And 2 people and 14 others wounded.
Okay.
Go ahead.
A free 2-day Juneteenth event held at Old Settlers Park in Round Rock, Texas, was disturbed by a shooting that started at 10:50 p.m. According to the Round Rock Police Department, the shooting apparently occurred after a Free Paul Wall concert.
A Free Paul Wall concert. Now that's an Edomite. Paul Wall is an Edomite. Many of y'all, if y'all old enough, y'all know who Paul Wall is. He's part of that. What is it? That is it Slaughterhouse? I can't remember the name of the label. But he's a part of, what's his name? What's the light skinned dude? Slim Thug. He's with Slim Thug and all of them.
You know what I mean? He was big back in the day. But this was a free concert with Paul Wall. I think yesterday, it was today. I think it was supposed to be like a free concert in Long Beach with Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? But this is the type of energy that these outings draw. Go ahead.
Come. 2 people were killed and 14 bystanders were wounded in the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Travis County Emergency Medical Service took 4 adults and 2 children. All that potentially
2 children. Now, I said before I knew what had happened, I said, well, damn, at a Juneteenth event, you have kids, you have little kids, you have elderly folk. It wasn't saying who were the victims, who were deceased. But I thought about that. I'm like, you got to be a nut job to open fire at a Juneteenth event. But that's just how destroyed our people are, though. Go ahead.
All with potentially serious injuries to hospitals, according to a post on X by the agency.
Mm-hmm.
Round Rock police said the department did have an operation plan in place. 22 law enforcement personnel were assigned and scattered throughout the event. 2 skywatch towers with officers overlooking the park were also on standby. The fire department and EMS were also on standby.
Mm-hmm.
As of now, Round Rock police are still searching for a shooter. They have not taken anyone into custody. Police Chief Alan Banks said the man who police believe to be the shooter is a 19 or 20-year-old and 5'7", had short dreadlocks, and was last seen wearing a white hoodie.
So, like these brothers, whoever it was, from firsthand accounts, people said that it was an altercation between 2 groups. That goes back to how we deal with one another. It goes back to, this is the reason why it goes back to who we are. Because if we were raised knowing who we are, knowing how we're supposed to treat one another, and that's mandatory, and not how we grow up in the Christian church, things like this will not happen, where 2 people get in an altercation and then 14 people get wounded and 2 people have to die. Okay. Is any more on that?
No, that's just
you could drop. So you had an altercation that escalated, and I bet you it was over something meaningless, something that you could have forgiven, you could have looked past it. But 2 women, there's a actual article. I don't know if you can find it, with both the sisters. It's 2 sisters that was at this event. I think they're both around in their 40s, that were hit with stray bullets, and they died at the scene. Now, you done did this, and I said these have to be young brothers. You done did this, and I said the minute that they did this and they ran away, because it said they ran away on foot, in that split second, they're thinking, what in the hell have I just done? They literally just destroyed their life and took 2 lives and traumatized men, women, and children over an altercation that, had they known who they are and known how to handle a situation, know how to talk to a person, know how to put down the ego and the pride in order to extend brotherly love, in order to treat someone how you want to be treated, none of this would never have happened.
Right.
Things like this is why you can blame the Christian church. You can blame the Black Christian church for not instilling the proper values into Black and Hispanic people, because the proper values are found in the Bible. But unfortunately, our people are not learning the proper values out of the Bible. They're going to church and worshiping white Jesus, and they learn their proper values from American society. They learn we learn how to deal with one another from what the world says. Don't let nobody disrespect you. Don't let nobody get over on you. Don't let it slide. Stand up for yourself. Don't let them think you a punk. Don't let them think they punking you. Teach them niggas a lesson. These are the values that we learn from America. Right. Give me Psalms 133:1. We learn things in America and how to deal with situations where we find ourselves in an early grave, or we find ourselves in a jail cell for 40 years. I had a brother come on my platform and comment on a video. I made a video about Bun B, about people saying that Bun B is a snitch, right? And this brother came on there and said, don't speak on GSHIT if you're not on that. And so this is the mindset of a lot of brothers, that it's a lot of tough talk and a lot of emotion. I said, don't speak on G's. There's nothing G about spending 40 years in prison. There's nothing gangster about doing a home invasion, getting shot, and then getting sentenced to 40 years behind bars.
Right.
There's nothing G about it. And I'm from Southern California. I done grew up around Crips and Bloods in my family and everything. There is no, you can't tell me there's anything G about the streets.
Right.
You understand? But this is the mentality of our people. And if I told this brother, you know what some G stuff is? The white man is the devil.
Right.
They was like, oh man, you tripping. Man, you trip like, oh, nah, you on some racist stuff. Nah, I'm on some real stuff.
Right.
I'm on some truthful stuff. I'm on something that will actually fix you and save your life rather than destroy you more. You would rather hate your brother than point at the man that is really hurting your people and put your people in the situation that they are in today to where they act like how they act. And now you're sitting up under some Christian pastor that's going to just tell you to go pray about it. Give me that.
Come on, bro. The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant is it? So like how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
The Bible says how good. King David said how good and pleasant. It's a very pleasant thing to be around other black people. And even if you have an altercation, y'all figure out how to settle it. Shake hands and keep it pushing. That's a pleasant thing. Let's just say the worst thing could happen. What's the worst thing could happen? You bump into a brother at a cookout. You knock his plate of food out on his white Air Force Ones. I'm trying to think of something in a big event. Let's say you at a concert, you bump into somebody, you knock his drink off onto his chest, or you knock her drink off onto her dress, or they now nice outfit. But then you say, you know what? I apologize. Let me buy you a drink. My bad. I'm sorry. I wasn't looking where I was going. I'm sorry, brother. Let me buy you another drink. There are ways to fix a problem. There are ways to fix a misunderstanding. There are ways to fix an accident where these things should not become a death sentence in our community.
Right.
These things become a death sentence in our community when they shouldn't. Read it from the top.
The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
In unity. And black people always talking about unity. Well, Juneteenth is supposed to be unity.
Right.
Juneteenth is a blackity black event where people get together. They're supposed to be unified. They make the banners with the Juneteenth and with the fists and the chains breaking. But you're still a slave. You're a slave to the things of this world.
Right.
You're a slave to your emotions. You can't even get in a disagreement without it going to violence.
Right.
You're a slave to your emotions. You're emotional. We say that a lot in the I.S.U.P.K. Don't be emotional. Don't get caught up in your feelings. Keep reading.
Verse 2. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments.
It said to dwell in unity is a precious thing. It's like precious ointment. It's like, when you first got raised up, they pour oil on your head and the oil run down your face and it run down your beard. It's a beautiful thing. It's a pleasant thing. It's a thing where you say, you go home from a good event when you done been out with all types of people at a I.S.U.P.K cookout, and you say, damn, I didn't know that being black and being around so many people could be like this. I didn't know that everybody is just so considerate. Everybody's so kind. Everybody is looking out for you. If somebody loses a purse, lose a wallet, lose some keys, they pop back up. You don't have to worry about your children, being snatched, and you never seeing them again on a big outing. You got brothers on Shamar everywhere, eyes on watch, looking and making sure everything is tip top. And you say, damn, this is beautiful. That's how every event is in the I.S.U.P.K. And I said, that's why I would never know what it was like, because you always looking at it like, you go to the club, there's going to be a fight. You go to a family reunion, it's going to be a fight, a disagreement. You go to a Christmas get together, it's going to be a disagreement. Thanksgiving, it's going to be a disagreement. Hell, on people's birthdays, it's a disagreement. You're angry. You upset because you didn't get the right present, or because somebody didn't say happy birthday. There's going to be something that happens at these events, no matter what. Then throw in the holidays. Just throw in the holidays, whether it be 4th of July, Independence Day, all of those holidays that's outside. It's going to be some disagreement, some type of violence, something that could have been handled properly, but without the proper training, it can't be handled properly. Brothers get into their emotions, and then it turns to violence. All right, you could drop that. Give me Matthew 18 and 15. Also, I want to talk about that Christian pastor. He just got 9 years. He was real flamboyant Christian pastor. He used to wear like Gucci suits and Gucci shades, and he got 9 years for scamming people. So much for your Christianity. Let me hear that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Yes, because if you have a problem with somebody, whether you're a man or a woman, you shouldn't let that problem fester. That problem that you have, you shouldn't just hold it in and let it fester, or go tell somebody else that you got a problem with this person. You should go to that person and tell them the issue you have. A lot of times when we're out about in public, and this is for anybody. This is for people that you're fond of, and this is also for people that you don't know. Like when you're out at a Juneteenth event and you bump into somebody and you knock their plate of food they just bought on the ground, right? Go ahead. I'll read it from the top. I'm sorry.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
So you want to tell that person the thing that they done that you feel was wrong, that trespass, you want to go to them alone and tell them. You don't want to try to check them in front of everybody or say it in front of everybody. You want to pull this person to the side. You want to say, hey, brother, can I talk to you for a second? And pull them to the side. Kind of like what is that skit that Cap and Karatazar did when they wanted to go out, we put them to the side. You want to pull them to the side and tell them. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a person that look at you totally different and respect you, because they wouldn't have known how you felt. But the fact that you're pulling them to the side, they're going to look at you like you're a genuine person. You're a real one. Right? Go ahead.
If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. Verse 16, but if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 or more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
Right. So then you have a counsel. It says if he'll hear you, then it'll be good. But if not, you're going to have to get more people and have a counsel. You're going to have somebody, people as mediators, to listen to both sides and say who was wrong, right? Because you don't want to them by yourself. Now, that's why I said 9 times out of 10, a person is going to hear you. They're going to respect the fact that you came to them, you pulled them to the side. You didn't go like tell other people this problem you got. You just came straight to them. They're going to respect that. But there's going to be that one person that's going to be like, they don't feel like they didn't do no wrong.
Right.
And so you like, okay, all right, I got you. I'm gonna take you to counsel. I'm gonna take. We need somebody else to mediate over this situation, to hear both sides. And hell, maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I felt like you trespassed against me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I won't never know until we have somebody to stand as a mediator in a council. It says what? 2 witnesses, 2 or 3 witnesses.
Okay.
So you get somebody. But this is how you don't end up killing one another. This is how you don't end up in jail for the rest of your life because you got emotional, because you felt disrespected. You felt like you big, bad, and tough, and you feel like somebody disrespected you. You can't let nobody get away with that disrespect. You got to teach them a lesson. And then 40 years in prison will teach you a lesson.
Right.
But if we as a people apply these laws, statutes, and commandments and the things that have been put down before our time, we would be okay. We wouldn't have to, ask and scratch our head like, why are we dying at a Juneteenth event? Why are we even bringing a gun to a Juneteenth event? Who are you running? Like, who are you? Who is trying to get you?
Right.
That you need to bring a strap to a Juneteenth event? Who is your enemies? You come into a place where there's children, elderly folk, and young folk that's just trying to have a good time. Usually at a Juneteenth event, because I've been to a lot of them, because I'm in the I.S.U.P.K. We done did plenty of interviews at Juneteenth events. We done have booths and all of that. Usually at a Juneteenth event, it's people that have booths. They set up their booths, whether they're, promoting something or they're selling something, or they're just trying to bring awareness to a certain cause. And people walk around these events and, buy food, eat, the regular stuff. Why are you coming there with a gun? You know what I'm saying? And one of the sisters said it sounded like an automatic gun. It had to be. 16 people got hit randomly. 2 people were deceased at this event. 2 sisters were deceased. And that's why we got to turn to the Lord. Is there any more on that?
So you want some more? You want
Let me hear
17?
it. Let me hear it.
Verse 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen, man, and a publican.
So if this person don't want to hear you, then you just brush the dust off your shoulders and keep it pushing. You look at them like they're a heathen, right? Because they did you wrong, but you went through all the proper channels to let them know, hey, this is how I feel. And a lot of times if you just will apologize, or you just hear someone out, if you just be willing to hear someone out and not be prideful, not think that you can't do any wrong, not think that you're always right. That's the problem with a lot of us. We think we're always right. Our perspective is always right. Sometimes you're wrong, and sometimes you got to learn that you're wrong. You have to hear that you're wrong. You have to look in the mirror and say, well, I was wrong in that situation. And you have to put down the ego, put down the pride, and apologize. That's it.
Right.
That could stop a lot of stuff. A lot of the violence that happens in our community, it could change overnight if we start applying these laws, statutes, and commandments. It change overnight. Okay, give me Mark 12 and 31. Mark 12 and 31. Okay.
The book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these.
You're supposed to love your neighbor or your brother or sister, a fellow Israelite, as yourself. So that means that you want to treat people how you want to be treated. You got a problem with how somebody is treating you, always keep in mind and be conscious of how you're treating other people.
Right.
Always keep that. Like, don't be prideful and act like I just said, act like you can't, like your stuff don't stink, or you don't come off abrasive, you don't come off prideful, you don't come off too harsh the way you talk to people. Some of y'all talk to people in a way where they can't see themselves getting along with you because you don't know how to talk to a person, and you can't see how you talk to a person, but people on the outside can see it. People on the outside can see how you talk to a brother or a sister, or how you talk to your so-called loved ones, or how you talk to your wife, or how you talk to your husband. People on the outside can see how you do that. They can see that you're abrasive with your words, and that you're rough with your words and how you talk, and you're commanding and you're bossy, and it doesn't come off as loving. It doesn't come off as, you care about them. Read that from the top again.
Come on. The book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 31. And the second is like, namely this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The same way you love to eat, make sure your people eat.
Right.
The same way you love, the same way you like to be talked to, talk to people like that. The same way you want a person to look at you, look at them like that. Don't stare at them and roll your eyes. You don't like nobody to roll their eyes at you. That's what that means. Love your people as you love yourself. The things you want for yourself, you should want for your people. The things that you expect how people should treat you, you should keep it in your mind and your consciousness to treat people that same way. Right? Is there any more on that?
Come on.
Oh, it is? No.
There's none other greater commandment than these.
No, you can drop that.
Come on,
Give me let me see. Give me Matthew 5 and 22. Matthew 5 and 22.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 22. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother,
it says, go back again.
Come on. The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 22. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Right.
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. But
whoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, like you're useless, you're senseless, right? Keep going.
Shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say thou fool shall be in danger of hellfire.
Right. So calling somebody a fool is like calling them a reprobate. It's like calling them a name. Like even today, calling somebody a fool is disrespectful. But we call each other disrespectful names today like it ain't nothing.
Right.
Another word that's disrespectful to call a person, especially a man, is the B word, right? Now we understand that people could act that way, but just to do it, just because, it's a very disrespectful thing, and people have lost their life over it. People have died over that word. People have died, or people have taken lives over their respect, over how they feel disrespected, just off of words. You got to understand, just off of words. Think about gangbanging. People unalive people based off of words. Where you from? Well, I'm from here. I'm from 77th Street. Crip. Blah, blah, blah. Off of basic words, people are unalive for being affiliated. You know what I'm saying? Is there any more on that? But the point is that the point of the precept is being angry with someone without a cause.
Right.
You don't have no reason to be angry with someone. What? Why? Because of what they look like? You don't like the way their hair look? You don't like the type of shoes they got on? You don't like the colors that they wearing? So you don't like them just because of that? Doesn't that sound childish? That sounds real. That sounds like elementary. Like I don't like him. He got on them red Jordans. I don't like that nigga. I don't like him. I don't like her. She got them braids, you know, her braid, the way her, I don't like the way her hairstyle is. I don't like the kind of clothes she wear. That's like elementary, not liking a person on just because how they look. Just because how they look. You don't even know them. But we tend to do that in the black community, black and Hispanic Native Indian community. Not like somebody just because of how they look. You don't know them. You have no reason to not like them. They haven't did an action to you. They haven't actually done anything to you. They haven't said anything to you, but you don't like them. It doesn't make sense. But if you're one of those type of people, you're in danger of hellfire. You're in danger of judgment. If you're that type of brother or sister that tend to hate other people, your own people, based on how they look, without a cause. You don't have no reason. They didn't break into your house. They didn't throw a rock at your car. They didn't scratch your car. They ain't did nothing to you, but you just don't like them. What you have to understand is this is normal now. This also was normal during the time of Christ. There's nothing new under the sun. How we act with one another, how we operate. We think because we're in a time where we think we're living in color. And what I mean by that is we think we live, you know, you see TV and they have the black and white TV, the black and white movies. We look at it like, oh, that was a long time ago. And we even look at the time of Christ as like, that was a hell of a long time ago. That was black and white time. But we live in color. We got phones. We got cars. We're up. We live with technology. But there's nothing new under the sun. It was people doing that back then. It was people acting this way back then. That's why these statutes, these things had to be in place. Right. Anybody got any questions? Anybody in the chat? Any questions? Go ahead and write them, enter them in the chat. Let's give me Luke 6:31. It's dealing with that Juneteenth thing, man. And it started over an altercation between two people. So it turned into a verbal altercation, and then it turned into 16 people getting shot, 2 of them deceased. For what? Go ahead.
The book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 31. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise.
Right. That's what I just said. What you want for brothers to do to you, do to them likewise. You want them to treat you a certain way, you treat them the same way, same way meaning likewise, the same. You treat them the same way. You understand? And I'm not saying bad because nobody wants to be treated bad. So you want them to treat you good, you treat them good also. You want them to be hospitable to you, you be hospitable. You look out, you be considerate. That's why I said it's so beautiful in the truth in the I.S.U.P.K, because like everybody is considerate. You come to one of our events and you'll see. You come to the Cali Cookout. What is the Cali Cookout? September 26th?
23rd to 26th.
Say that again.
The 23rd to the 26th.
The 23rd through the 26th. You come to the California Cookout and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll see how we get down, how we move, how we are considerate, how we treat people, how we want to be treated, how we look out for one another, how we prefer one another, how, we have, families upon families. We got brothers on Shamar looking out for everybody at every corner. And you come in there and you just feel safe. You feel like you're in heaven. You feel like there's nothing that could go wrong in an I.S.U.P.K cookout. That's just the feeling you get, whether it's the cookout, whether it's a high holy day, or whether it's the Passover. That's how you feel around all these black people and brown people, where usually you somewhere in an event in the world, you feel on edge. A lot of y'all can't even go to an event without getting high. You got to be drunk and high to even be around people because your anxiety is so damn high. Anxiety is so damn high. You can't even understand being at a large event with a lot of our people and nothing happens. It will just blow your mind. You can't understand you losing your purse, you misplacing your iPhone, and you get it back. You're not going to get it back, you know, at a 4th of July event. You're not going to get it back. It's gone. Because you might as well lock up all of those apps and report it stolen, order you a new phone. That's what you better do, right? But when it comes to us coming together, it's a beautiful thing. It's definitely beautiful. Go ahead. Is there any more? Lost. All right, you can drop that. Let's get that story with that pastor. It's a pastor that was I can't remember his name. I'll give it to you. Let me see. Is it Lamar? Let me see. Damn. They called him the Bling Bishop. What's his name? Yeah, his name is Lamar, not Lamar, but Lamar Whitehead. Lamar Whitehead. You just pull up any and I'll just put it. This one is CNN. I'm gonna pull this one up. If you could get the CNN one, and I'm gonna screen share this one.
Brooklyn pastor Bling Bishop sentenced to 9 years of fraud and extortion.
Is it CNN?
Okay.
Let me pull it up. Go ahead and read it, and I'm gonna just scroll as you read it.
It says Brooklyn pastor Bling Bishop sentenced to 9 years for fraud and extortion. U.S. attorney says Lamar Whitehead, a flashy Brooklyn pastor nicknamed the Bling Bishop, was sentenced Monday to 9 years in prison after being convicted of using a parishioner's retirement savings.
Good night.
And trying to extort a businessman. The U.S. attorney of the Southern District of New York announced.
Now this pastor, this guy, I remember him for being for always wearing fancy stuff. So right here it says at the bottom, it says, known for his Louis Vuitton suits and extravagant jewelry, Lamar Whitehead was a pastor at the Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries in Brooklyn. You can go ahead and keep reading. I'm finna get something else.
Okay.
I'm gonna get just a picture to post up there.
It says Whitehead was found guilty in March of 2 counts of wire fraud, as well as 1 count each of attempted wire fraud, attempted extortion, and making false statements to federal law enforcement agents. The convictions are from the 3 separate schemes. In addition to his prison sentence, the 45-year-old New Jersey man was sentenced to 3 years of supervised release in order to pay $85,000 in restitution and forfeit $95,000.
How much?
In order to pay $85,000 in restitution.
Good night.
And forfeit $95,000, according to a news release from the U.S. Attorney's Office and court documents.
So he was called the Bling Pastor. He embezzling money. What did he take? He took a parishioner's retirement fund. What did he take?
Yeah, come on, yeah.
And you know what he reminds me of? It was, I don't know, some of y'all probably know this pastor. He wasn't really a pastor. He was online. He was super flamboyant, but he had a wife, and he was flashy like this brother right here, real flashy. And then in one of his lives, I think he was like in the attic doing, going, so-called preaching on a live stream, and his wife came in there and got into it with him or something. Like they got into it like real bad, and while he was on live, and I never seen him again. But I don't know if y'all can. I can't remember his name, but it was a cat about 6-7 years ago that was real big on Facebook Live, and he was a pastor, real flamboyant. Dress, the way he dressed was very expensive, also with the Louis Vuitton and all of that. And he just disappeared. That's what the Lord does to these people. That's what he's doing to these people. They're disappearing. They're being brought down.
Right.
Give me some more on it.
Come on. Whitehead was found. It's like it. Right. Lamar Whitehead is a con man who stole millions of dollars in a string of financial frauds and even stole from one of his parishioners. He lied to federal agents and again to the court at his trial. Today's sentence put an end to Whitehead's various schemes and reflects this.
It said he lied to who?
Law enforcement. Or so he lied to federal agents and again to the court at his trial.
This is your man of God. This is your man of God that says, plead it in the blood of Jesus. Plead the blood of Jesus. Pray about it. Be righteous. But yet he's lying to authorities. He's getting crossed up in lies. He's give me you don't have to give it to me, but he's stealing money. He's stealing old folks' money, plotting on old folks. There's a video with him while he's having a service. Let me see if I can find it. There's a video with him having a service and getting into it with a sister, and he grabs her by her neck and puts her out. If I'm not mistaken. And then if you could get me what I want. Is it Jeremiah 23:1? Let me see if I can find that video for y'all. Okay, I think I got it. We're gonna see if we can pull this video up. All right, let me see. Okay. Oh, this is a brother's video. Let me see. So this brother was allegedly he was arrested for this incident. I don't know what was going on, but this is during the church service. Let me see if I can share this tab. All right, I'm gonna play this for y'all.
Take the pictures. Take the pictures. Take the pictures.
Y'all see that?
Ah, man, this is so sad. I just made a video about this.
Take the pictures. Take the pictures. Take the pictures.
This dude is a maniac. Well, that's your pastor. Damn maniac. Sister walked in front of the camera. He grabbed her by her neck and pushed her off the camera, off the live stream. This dude just got sentenced. Let me put it back up. He just got sentenced to 9 years for stealing money from people, for scamming. Oh, this is a good one right here. And see, black people love, for some reason, y'all love pastors like, y'all love men like this, that's flashy, that's shiny. He said, I'm not wearing the Steve Harvey 3-piece suit. I'm taking it to a whole nother level. I'm about to wear a Gucci suit. Let me see. He said, I'm not wearing a Steve Harvey suit. I'm finna get me a Gucci suit. Y'all got to know that I'm a man of God because, I mean, I'm wearing the finest linens. I'm wearing the finest things money can buy. Where was he at in the article? Oh, I'm sorry about that. What I told you to get his preset? We just hold that. Just hold that. We'll get to that.
Lamar Whitehead is a con man who stole millions of dollars in a string of financial frauds and even stole from one of his own parishioners.
He even stole from one of the people that pay tithes. Go ahead.
He lied to federal agents and again to the court at his trial today.
So he stole and he lied. So this is your man of God that's stealing and conniving and lying. Could you imagine Moses stealing? Could you imagine, Ezekiel stealing, Christ stealing and conniving and grab a sister by her neck? Go ahead.
Today's sentence puts an end to Whitehead's various schemes and reflects the office's commitment to bring accountability to those who abuse their positions of trust. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, said in the news release. One of Whitehead's attorneys had previously said they plan to appeal. CNN has reached out to Whitehead's lawyer for comment. Known for his Louis Vuitton suits and extravagant jewelry.
He's what?
Known for his Louis Vuitton suits and extravagant jewelry. Whitehead was a pastor at the Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries in Brooklyn. He made headlines in 2022 after he said he and his wife were robbed of $1 million worth of jewelry at their church.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember that. Y'all remember that? He was read that part again.
Hold on. He made headlines in 2022 after he said he and his wife were robbed of $1 million worth of jewelry at their church.
And that probably was a scam too, just to get people to give him more money, saying he got robbed of his jewelry, $1 million of jewelry. So he was living that life fronting and faking like he was just big, and he was trying to live like TD Jakes and Creflo Dollar. But really, he was just like an average nigga on the street, scheming and scamming. And not saying that they any better. I'm just saying he was making it seem like he had a lot more money and affluence than he actually did.
Right.
Go ahead.
Prosecutor said Whitehead defrauded one of his parishioners by convincing her to invest approximately $90,000 of her retirement savings with him.
Damn.
So he could help her buy a home. However,
so he scammed her to pay him $90,000 out of her retirement savings. Go ahead.
However, he ended up spending the money on luxury goods and personal expenses instead, according to an indictment.
So he took that money and bought more Louis Vuitton and more jewelry and more shades, Gucci shades. This dude is a wild animal. And these are the hirelings. These are the type of people that are over all black churches getting your tithes and your tithe money. And you standing in line to pay $500. There's churches where they stand in line to pay $500 to the pastor for the pastor's fund, the pastor and first lady fund, $1,000, $5,000. Our people are brainwashed beyond reason. They're brainwashed beyond reason. A man of God doesn't need to be extravagant. A man of God needs to care about the people that he is shepherding.
Right.
That's what a true man of God is supposed to be. Not about where I'm going to get my next designer outfit. Where I'm going to, get my next where I'm going to get my next victim. How can I scheme off the top and get more money? There's some churches where the pastors they send them baskets around 3 and 4 times. They send them baskets around to take tithes 3 and 4 times in about 2 hours and get mad and say, y'all can do better than this. There's a video with a pastor saying that. Y'all can do better than this. Mad because it ain't enough. It ain't the amount of money that he thinks should be in the baskets when they came back. These people are selfish, money-hungry pigs that don't really love the people that love them.
Right.
The people that are blind going into these churches that love these pastors and these first ladies. They love the hell out of them. Will do anything for him. Will go broke. As you see, this sister gave him $90,000 out of her retirement fund. Give me what I want. Give me Jeremiah 23:1.
Come on. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord.
The Lord said, woe be unto the pastors that scatter. I'm sorry, read it from the top one more time.
Come on. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord.
The Most High said, woe be unto those pastors that scatter the sheep. Now, what you think, what kind of faith you think, like all those people that was following him, look at this nigga. All those brothers and sisters that was following him, he got his little Bentley coupe. All the brothers and sisters that was following him, that was going to his church, how do you think they feel now? They don't know what they were following. Now they're seeing this happen to them. Some of them are probably delusional and saying, you know what? They persecuting him like they persecuted Paul. Some of them probably delusional. You get what I'm saying? Some of them probably, that's how it is in the Christian church. Brothers and sisters be under that spell of Christianity and unlimited forgiveness. So like when it came to what was his name? Eddie Long, who had molested young boys in his church. When they grew up to men, they became homosexuals. One of them committed suicide. I think it was 5 brothers. Even with all of that going on, the people still were coming to the church. They still supported him. They still stood by him. So Christianity is a wicked thing where it's witchcraft, where it can literally have a whole group of people delusional and still loving a man that is a child molester, still supporting because it's your pastor and you love him and he's a man of God. I'm pretty sure after these 9-10 years where this man gets out, when he gets out of prison, there's still going to be people that were in that church that's willing to still follow him. That's the delusion of Christianity. That's why you've probably heard brothers say this, is that Christianity was worse than crack. It is worse than crack because it don't destroy your body. It destroys your mind, body, and soul. It keeps you locked into something where you will never actually see the truth unless for a miracle. It's a miracle that a lot of us are in the truth, that we got out of the Christian church, or that just that mind frame of thinking that, everybody falls down, but they get back up. Everybody backslides a little, pastor just backslid, but he's still a man of God. He's still pastor. I mean, look at his nice suits. Look at how he dressed. He's always presentable. He's fine. A lot of the women in the church, they in love with the pastor. They in love with the pastor, and he's the measuring stick to their husbands. They husbands, that they always look at their husband like, pastor wouldn't say this, he wouldn't do that. And they go have private meetings with the pastor. If you could see me right here. Come on. You know what I mean? This is what all these pastors lust for. They lust for these riches. They lust for wealth and prosperity. That's what Christianity is. It's about prosperity. Just look at the Christian pastors. And let me just say, also, I seen a story where it said that T.D. Jakes, he's getting divorced from his wife. So none of these men are really what they say they are. And the Lord shows you this right in your faces, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But a lot of our people can't hear and decide to turn their eyes and their ears away from the truth that is right in front of them. What you say, Kodashiala? You said off the earnings of the people while they watch you. Con. So you done been in a church. You've been in the church struggling for 15 years. And within 2 years, the pastor, he has a nice vehicle. He has all kind of nice clothes. His finances is in check, but you're struggling and you're paying tithes. And he doesn't even have any compassion on you as somebody that is really seeking the Lord and giving all you got. And he can't even help you when you need money. There's a story where a sister said her grandma was in the church for like 40, 60 years. Her grandma she got sick. Then she passed away. Well, when they went to that church and asked, could they help them bury her grandma? They said no, because she had stopped tithing. But she had been tithing all her, years that she was going to this church. And so the church is really about financial gain, but it is about self-gain, them self-gaining off of the people that are going there. All the sermons is about prosperity. All of it. Keep reading. Where were we at?
Jeremiah 25:1.
Yeah, go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
The Lord said, destruction be unto these pastors that scatter our people. Right. And these pastors, it's not just about these pastors, it's about these fake Israelite groups too. It's about all these fake Israelite groups that raise up like weeds in the summertime that pop up and everybody knows the Bible. Everybody is a priest and a prophet. If you're not in here, let me put this down real quick. I don't want to stop it. I just want to, let me see. If you're not in here in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, you are not in the truth.
Right.
But do your thing. Do your thing. But these pastors and these fake Israelites, what they do is they make it harder for brothers in the truth to bring our people home because they put all these false doctrines in the air. And so a person will be in Lamar Whitehead's church and leave his church saying that wasn't the truth. He was stealing, and run into one of these fake Israelites and say, this is the truth. I'm an Israelite. I'm gonna give me a white wife. Now you done went from one form of Christianity to another form of Christianity. You're not in the truth.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 2. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing.
Have not visited them. You don't give a damn about them. You don't have no compassion on them.
Right.
You have scattered them away and driven them away. You know this is true because a lot of black people, they don't have faith in the Bible anymore because of Christianity. Because of the things that they seen and experienced growing up in the Christian church, it drove them away from church. Now they're burning sage. Now they're saying the black woman is God. Now they're what are some other things our people do?
Islam.
Now they're in Islam. What is it's some other stuff our people do? But our people they'll try anything. They'll be a what they call those people that like they get turned on by nature. They'll be what is it? Is it called a pansexual?
I'm not sure.
It's a name for it. Y'all put it in the chat. I know somebody know where people they say I'm a pansexual and they just hug trees all day. But our people are going to all these different ideologies and everything, running away from Christianity. Rebellious towards the idea of even reading the Bible again. And it's because some pastor and some false doctrine are just how people operate in the church, what has made a person say, you know what? Y'all worse than people in the world. I don't need this. And lose faith in the Bible. And so these pastors drive people away. What is it called?
Biophilia.
Biophilia, whatever the case, whatever it is. These are the things that, you know, these different ideologies, these different religions, our people, they run to them. They run away. They go through trauma, molestation, being ostracized in the Black Christian church, and they run away from the Black Christian church. Let me get this. Let me pull this one up real quick. They get the hell out of Dodge. They get the hell out of Dodge. He was living a lavish life. He looked like a rapper.
Like that's a pastor.
Yeah, that's the same pastor. He got the ripped jeans. He got the fat crucifix medallion on with the puffy designer jacket. Yeah, man, he looked like a rapper. He looked just like your everyday rapper.
Right.
That's the first thing you get when you get a rap contract. You go get you a fat chain, a fat cross chain. Or you get a Jesus piece. It used to be a Jesus piece. I don't know if that's popular anymore, but that's all rappers used to rap about, is getting a fat Jesus, a Cesar Bojaya around their neck. Right? Where we at?
Jeremiah 23:2.
Let me hear it.
Come on. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord.
The Lord said He's going to revisit these pastors. And you see Lamar Whitehead, he got visited. Everything came out. Right. Well, what's the precept? Hold on. Let me get this precept real quick. I got it. Give me James 2:1. James 2:1. See, a lot of people look at these different pastors and see how glorious they look, how nice they dress, how clean cut they are, how they behave, how they move inside the church, how they speak. A lot of these pastors are great orators. I'm not going to sit here in front. I ain't going to sit here in front like these pastors don't know how to speak. They know how to speak. They practice those sermons. A lot of them have the what do you call it? The pizzazz, the charisma. They're great speakers. Like I don't actually feel that I'm a great speaker. Like as a young person, I stuttered a lot. I wasn't afraid to get up in front of people and speak. But even coming into the truth, I learned that that's not my strong point. It's not a lot of people's strong point, but it must be done when we go out in camp.
Right.
A lot of these pastors, they're excellent speakers. They're well rehearsed, great orators. And when I say orators, I mean they can speak in what's the word you want to? They can broadcast their voice. That's not the word. What's the word where they can project their voice out to a crowd. They have a lot of charisma when they're talking, a lot of movement, very captivating, the type of stuff that draws you in. Then you look at their nice suits, alligator shoes. Coming from the hood, these things are they're unusual, but what they really are, they're very pimp-like. They're very pimp-like. You know what I mean? These are the same elements that the pimp. He's good with his mouthpiece. Very good talker. Very persuasive. The way he talks is very captivating. These are pimps. These are pimps for that claim to love God. That's what they really are, right? Give me that right there.
The book of James, chapter 2, verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons.
With what?
With respect of persons.
Verse
Verse 2. For if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring and in goodly apparel, and there come in also a poor man in a vile raiment, and ye have respect to him that weareth
the gay clothing.
Say it. The gay clothing.
The gay clothing. Go ahead.
And say unto him, sit thou here in a good place, and say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit there under thy footstool. Are ye not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts?
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, stop. So this is talking about what I was just saying about how our people look at people. You look at these pastors in their flamboyant clothes, their nice looking clothes, expensive clothes, and you look at them like that's a man of God. And then you'll see somebody else that don't have the nice things on. They're not in a 3-piece Steve Harvey suit. They're not in now later crocodile shoes, colorful shoes. They don't have an Easter vest on. They don't look, they're not clean shaven. Their face ain't clean shaven with a bald fade. They don't look like your pastor or your quote unquote man of God or Lamar Whitehead. They don't look like them. And you have a respect of persons and you look down on those people, but you treat this person with the highest regard and the highest respect. And you don't know that this person, the Lord hates and the Lord is going to judge. This person who you call pastor, this person who you call deacon, this person who you look at as a true man of God, and then you look at brothers in the I.S.U.P.K. like we can't possibly be men of God. We can't be men of God because you don't look like a man of God in my mind. You look a little too rough. You look a little too rugged. You look like you might be an ex-con. And so I don't think you're a man of God. And I don't respect you as a man of God. But my pastor, Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, Lamar Whitehead, he's a man of God. He's really what a man of God is. Well, that man of God that you put your trust in is draining your pockets and blowing them to the Stone Age. And you're sitting at the bus stop taking public transportation, trying to make it on time to church. Meanwhile, he doesn't have those problems. Meanwhile, he doesn't have to worry about whether or not his rent is going to get paid. He cares about himself. And if you were to go to him with your problems, he will tell you, you're going to have to figure it out. We can pray about it, but you're going to have to, figure it out. Come by tomorrow. I got some food in the pantry I can give you. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? But we put our respect in how people look. And so this brother right here, it was a lot of people behind him because, he was wearing Gucci. He was wearing, driving the finest cars, wearing the stylish, expensive Gucci shades. He was doing big things. And then it all came out. He was stealing from the parishioners. It all came out that he was a thief and a liar. He was lying to investigators. And the Lord judged him. Right. Let's clap it up for the Lord. That's a good example. That's a good example of what the Lord is going to do to these Christian pastors that have been running God's chosen people. Do you know that Christian pastors today, they sit in the seat of Moses and Aaron? The Christian church, predominantly black people are mostly in the black Christian church. That's the main religion of black people, whether it be Pentecostal or the main one, Baptist. But this is the main religion of black people. And then Islam. But Christianity is number one, hands down. And that is the chief enemy of the truth of what we're saying. And so your Christian pastors, they sit in the seat of the Sadducees and the Pharisees, ruling over Israel, ruling over the minds and the hearts of Israel. And so it's a spiritual battle that we got to fight and break those chains with the truth of the Bible. You understand? It's so strong that when you speak the truth of the scriptures, it doesn't even register with a Christian that's been in Christianity their whole life. They are arguing with you and they can't even see that what you are saying is not even your own words. It is coming straight out the Bible. They can't see it because the witchcraft of Christianity is so strong. Once again, going back to Christianity was worse than crack cocaine, worse than heroin, worse than any drug, worse than fentanyl, worse than any drug that has ever decimated or destroyed a community, mainly the black community.
Right.
Right. Is there any more on that?
Wow.
I think it is.
Verse 5.
I think it may be.
Come on.
Let me hear it.
The book of James, chapter 2, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him?
Right. So this is talking about now. We're talking about how people look, how you see them, how you have a man that's dressed well, but you have a man that he's not dressed well. He doesn't have the best clothes. He's not wearing Louis Vuitton and Gucci, but he loves the Lord. He's a righteous man. He's not rich. He's not middle class. He's not none of those things. He goes to work every day, but he's not rich. He's living paycheck to paycheck. He can't afford to have Gucci and drive Bentleys and live in the nice part of town. He lives in the ghetto. He lives in the favela. He lives in the shanty town. He lives in the barrio. Okay. But he loves the Lord.
Right.
Read that part again.
Come on. Verse 5. Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him?
He said, have not God chosen the poor of this world, but rich in faith?
Right.
He may not have all of the things that you think that a man of God is supposed to have. He may not have the garments, not the garment, I don't want to say garment. He may not wear the apparel that you think he should have. He may not wear the gay apparel that you think he should be wearing, right? But he's rich in faith. And he has a promise from the Most High to be heir of the kingdom, to be an heir of the kingdom, to inherit the kingdom. These people that are right, self-righteous in the Christian church and think they have all the answers, but absolutely have none for the community, they're not heirs to the kingdom of God. You see, you can't get caught up in the things that are temporary or temporal. Give me the precept. Give me that precept. It's a precept for that. You cannot get caught up in the things that are temporal. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes. So your lust is to look nice and wear finer things and have the good life. Live the life that celebrities live. You only live once, so you want to live it up. You want to do it big. And yet that's where your lust is. You have the lust of that, but that's only temporary. Those things burn away. I think I'm paraphrasing the precept.
2 Corinthians 4:18.
Let me hear it.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen.
Right.
For the things which are seen are temporal.
The things that which are seen are temporal, meaning they're temporary. So you're looking at the flashy cars, the nice homes, and the nice designer clothes, and your pastor is such a great man, and he got a nice haircut. He keeps his hair crispy, his hairline is straight, and you're looking at these temporary things. These things are not going to last. These things really mean nothing in the spirit world. They don't mean anything to God. A lot of times you hear people in the sports, right? They be like, they win a fight. I just want to thank God. They get an award at a movie ceremony, a movie award show, or a music award show. First and foremost, I want to thank God. Thank y'all, everybody. Thank you. I want to thank God. I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. What else? Basketball. I just want to thank God for my talent. Football. I just want to thank God for this NFL contract. These things are temporary, and they're not even spiritual. The Lord don't give a damn about no football. God don't care about acting. He don't care about the things that we care about, the things that we think are important. They're temporary. They're useless. They mean nothing to the Lord.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead. Read it from the top again.
Come on. The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen.
We don't look at the things that are seen. We look at the things that are not seen. We always warning brothers and sisters that World War III is coming. We always warning brothers and sisters that the things that have been foretold for ages from the prophets, now we're starting to see them in the earth. We don't have a pinpoint precise time when Christ is going to return, but we can see the signs of the times. And we understand the spirit of the Lord. So it's a spiritual thing. We're thinking about the things that are not seen. We're using the things of the prophets that was prophesied of what Christ said and the prophet said, but we're thinking about the things that nobody else is thinking about that are going to come to pass, while everybody else is looking at what they can see and then trying to enjoy their life for now, because they know you only live once. So this is the only life you're going to get. So you got to live this life to the fullest, and you got to do this to the fullest. And, I got my bucket list, and I want to do this, and I want to go here, and I want to do this. You never know. You're here today, tomorrow you're gone. But we're not looking at those things. We're looking at it from a spiritual perspective. Keep reading.
Come on. But at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
The things that are not seen are eternal. Those things that are not seen are the things that you do in the spirit. The thing you keep in the commandments. Nobody knows you're doing it, right? Only the Lord knows those things that you are doing that is pleasing to him. You can go out and try to please man, but you're going to fail every time. Right? Because man is never satisfied. But there are things we can do to satisfy the Most High.
Right.
There's some things that we know for sure that we can do. You can't be sure when you're dealing with people. Man, people are never satisfied. Ever satisfied. There will always be something with people, whether it's with people, your family, your job. People are never satisfied, right? Let me see. What's the sister? Do they answer for anything that they do wrong as pastors? Olivia Arnold, explain a little more what you're saying. You say, do they answer for anything that they do wrong as you saying, or do the pastors answer for anything that they do wrong as pastors? Yeah, they do. We just read about this brother. This brother is about to do 9 years for stealing one of the people that went to his church. He convinced her to give him $90,000 out of her retirement fund. And he was acting like he was going to invest. What is he going to invest in?
To help her buy a house.
To help her buy a house. Well, he took that money and he bought more clothes, more shoes, and designer clothes, designer shoes, and glasses. You know what I mean? And got himself a home on her dime. And so now he's going to court. That came out. Not only that, he lied to investigators in the courtroom. And he's supposed to be a man of God, but he's sitting there and he can't even tell the truth. He's stealing from the people that obviously love him. You have to, as a person going to a church and your pastor asks you for some money, you got to love the hell out of your pastor. Many black people do love their pastor. They look at their pastor as an extended family member. Most black people do that go on a continual basis, every Sunday. They look at their pastor as like he's part of the family, or I'm part of his family. And so he's getting judged right now for what he's done, but there are millions of pastors that haven't got judged yet.
Right.
There's millions of pastors that, they think that they're doing a good thing. You know what? There's a pastor. He was young, but there was a pastor, a church we used to go to when we was in the world. And this pastor, he had, I'm trying to remember correctly, he had a lot of I had some issues in my relationship, and he tried to tell me what I should be doing in my relationship. Right? Come to find out, this pastor was married, but he had I think 9 women with a whole bunch of kids. And it came out later, but I was just like, damn, you sitting here trying to tell me how to be in my relationship, but yet you're not an honest man. And I'm not saying this is in the world. So I'm looking at it from that. I'm in the truth now. And I'm looking in the world, people think that you're supposed to just be with one woman. Well, he had multiple women, and he was doing his thing. You know what I mean? But it all came out. So what's done in the dark will literally come to the light, especially if you're supposed to be a so-called pastor. And in these times, brothers and sisters are wisening up and getting smarter. There's a story about saying that a lot of black people are actually leaving the church. The problem is when you leave the church, you end up going into something else that is BS. You end up going into, some witchcraft. Oh, they got the thing called Wiccan witchcraft where they burn sage too, right? You like a witch, right? You end up going into Buddhism. You end up going into what is the one? What's the one? Islam. You end up going into these different religions, or you end up running into some fake Israelites, which is just another form of Christianity.
Right.
But there is a story that a lot of black folk have lost faith in the Christian church. And there's so many reasons. I'm sure if we was to hold a panel, if the I.S.U.P.K was just to say, I'm sorry, if the I.S.U.P.K just said, we're going to hold this panel, we want all brothers and sisters, come with your horror stories from the Christian church. Come and sit down if you're willing. Everybody don't want to be on camera. Everybody don't want to talk about their issues and let everybody know what's going on with them. But for the people that would, I bet you it would be hundreds and thousands of black people that have horror stories coming out of the black Christian church, the place where you're supposed to be, supposedly the house of God and be the safest, right? But that is not always the case. That is never the case. Got another story about the Christian church, and this is not really about it's the pastors, but it's about the holiness of the Christian church. It's when I'm in the world. I'm at the crib. I hear a whole bunch of gunshots. I'm at my grandmother's house. I hear a whole bunch of gunshots. It's a Sunday morning. And there's a church on the corner, right? So I go, see what's going on. It's a brother that just got shot. This brother just got shot. He's dying. He's laying in front of the church. Church was going on when it happened. Nobody came out to check on the brother. Nobody even came out. They were so scared in the church, they didn't even come out to assist the brother. I was the first one on the scene. Number one is, in the I.S.U.P.K, we don't have a spirit of fear. I wasn't in the truth then, but the point I'm making is that the Christian church weakens black people. The Christianity weakens black people, and especially black men. Number two, if this place is so holy, then why are things like this happening on the church ground? If the Lord is really there and that's God's house.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Okay. You got anything else?
Lost.
Nothing else?
No.
All right. Let me get one more precept and then we'll get up out of here. I think I got Jeremiah 23:1.
Okay.
Okay. And then we got what else we get? Let me get it.
2 Corinthians 4:18.
Okay. This is something. Give me Colossians 2:8. We'll wrap it up with that, because Black people are Black, Hispanic, and Indian people. We like to be gamed up. We like people to run game on us. It's like the guy that comes to your door and he's trying to sell you something. We like people to sell us something. We like people to give us a good pitch. Give us a good story. Give us something that sounds good. Make me feel good. You know, I had a bad week. Pastor, I had a bad week. You know, things didn't go too good. You know, the devil was a lie. He been trying to mess with me. Let me hear a sermon. Let me hear something make me feel good. And you come into that church and you sit there and you listen to a sermon that this pastor probably done told 50 times. It's rehearsed. It's in his notes. It's in his notes that this sermon that he done spoke 50 times. And you sit there and you get that motivational speech and you like, yeah, pastor. And you looking at the pastor and he got a nice haircut and he got Gucci on. And he talking about sowing the seed. If you just trust the Lord and you sow a seed into your tithe, and the Lord will give it back to you 100-fold. And you just like, and you just captivated by this pastor, this man of God. And in your ignorance, you're being pulled farther away from the true God that's actually in the Bible. Go ahead, I.
Sluggy, that sound like that Cash App scam. Like, you send me 100, I'll give you 1,000
Yeah,
back.
yeah. He in there. He running the Cash App scam in the church. You send me 100, I'll send you 1,500. That's what the Lord gonna do for you. Sow a seed of $50, and the Lord will multiply that into $1,500, brother. It don't make any sense. The Lord is not a slot machine. That's not how it works with the Most High. That it's never been about prosperity. Brothers and sisters done came from slavery, and the Lord didn't allow us to die. We done came from poverty, and the Lord didn't allow our nation to perish.
Right.
It's never been about money. We're God's chosen people. It's never been about prosperity. If you think it's about prosperity, you're lost in the sauce. It's never been about prosperity. Yes, we have to work. Yes, we have to do what we got to do to put food on the table and to, pay rent and bills. Yes, we have to do that. But what I'm saying is that our survival is not dependent on money. Not if we turn to the Lord. But guess what? It never has been. The only way you will be homeless on the streets is if you're mentally ill and incapable of handling regular business, or if you are a drug abuser and you just can't handle regular business either.
Right.
These are the only real reasons why we even end up in really, really bad situations like living on the streets. It's a precept to that. Give me, okay, we'll get this one. We'll get this one. No, let's get this one first. Give me, what is that? Let me see. I just want to make sure this is the right one. Oh, nah, this is not going to work. Yeah, give me Psalms 37 and 25. I've never, that shouldn't be. See, the reason why in the Bible you never heard nobody talking about having money and finances, and even the scripture where it talks about he that doesn't work doesn't eat, that's not even talking about money. It's not even talking about working like employment work. It's talking about the truth. working in the truth, you don't eat, right? It had nothing to do with money in that whole precept. Well, I'll go over that at another time. But you don't see that in there because that was something that was what's the word or the expression? That was something that was not self-explanatory, but it didn't have to be said. Everybody had what they needed. Our people are a people of agriculture. So
like
naturally you go ahead.
Oh, rhetorical?
Rhetorical? No. I was just saying, like, it was something that the reason why you don't see where the prosperity gospel is talked about in the Bible, it's not in the Bible, it's because money was never an issue or provision was never an issue. If you had your land, in the land of Israel, you're going to work your land. You're going to always have things that's going to provide for you. You're going to be working. You're going to be doing whatever you do, and whatever is the occupation of your family, whether if it's rearing livestock or if it's agriculture, farming, or whatever the case may be, you would always have. That was never, an issue. This thing about money is really just in the Black and Hispanic community because we are the poor of this earth and the poor of America. And we're usually the people at the bottom, the small 15%. And so this idea of getting the bag, of getting money, these conversations are not in the white community. You know why? Because they are in heaven. Because they are born into a lineage of, oh, my father had this job. Now I'm going to run the business. And even if they don't, even if they're a person like you and like a Black person that needs to be on public assistance, they'll get it before you. And they won't get sweated like you get sweated. You understand? Give me that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 25. I have been young and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
You have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. You won't see, if you keeping the commandments, you won't never have to worry about being forsaken or on the streets begging for something. I hope somebody got that. If you are keeping the commandments, the righteous, you're an Israelite, right? According to the Bible, and you're keeping the commandments. David said, I have never seen the righteous forsaken or begging for bread.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come on. Verse
Is
26.
that it?
Verse 26.
You could drop that. Give me Colossians 2:8, and then we'll wrap it up with that.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
Man, beware if any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Like Pastor Whitemore. Through philosophy and vain deceit. Through the theology of Christianity, telling you God loves everyone, telling you to sow a seed, telling you, yeah, sister, just give me the 90,000. I'm gonna make sure you get into the house. I'm gonna take care of you. On the video, he choking the hell out of her sister. He grabbed her, he went like this and pushed her out the. He went just like this, like, get your ass up out of here. That's the same man of God that is telling you God loves everyone.
Right.
That is telling you to sow a seed, to trust him. Give him $90. He did her like a Nigerian. You know, it was a sister that got scammed out of $100,000 by a Nigerian, came over here, married her, then he went back home, left her, never came back. Never came back to America. He got his green card, he got that money, he was gone. Scammed the hell out the sister. These pastors is no better than heathens, man.
Right.
They know better than heathens. These pastors are treating God's chosen people like they're garbage. These pastors are treating God's chosen people like the Jewish men treat our people in Hollywood. Use them. Use them. Get over on them. Keep going.
Come on. After the tradition of men.
He said, Pastor Ham Hock. Go ahead.
After the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world.
Right. After the traditions of men, after the rudiments of this world. Let me just speak about traditions too, man. A lot of these traditions that they do in the Christian church, they're traditions that our ancestors learned on the plantation.
Right.
It was a time where our ancestors couldn't even have their own church. Like all the slaves would get together and they'll have a pastor, but you couldn't have church without white people there watching, making sure you say the right things and not the wrong things. So these churches have matured into what you see today. And what you see today is so disrespectful to the Most High with what these churches are doing and how they're taking advantage of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
And how they're walking around talking about, have you ever been swallowed? How they're doing, how they can even talk about certain things and not bring out the truth of the Bible is a disgrace to the Most High. They are a disgrace. And the Lord is going to deal with them. And just because it hasn't happened yet, you're going to see them slowly start to be plucked off. One of them pastors was in the middle of his sermon and had a heart attack in the middle of the sermon and died. I was like, God damn. You had another situation where a pastor was sleeping with a brother's wife. The brother's so mad, he come up in there to confront him. The pastor, while he giving the sermon, pull out a gun and shoot the brother, killed the brother. He was sleeping with his wife. These are the things that are going on in the Black Christian church. And the Lord is not pleased. And like what we read in Jeremiah 23:1 is the Lord said, woe to these pastors that scatter the flock.
Right.
How can you even believe in God if you go into a church and you're sitting there and a pastor pull out a gun and shoot one of the people, and then you find out later, oh, he was sleeping with such and such wife. You had the story with the brother, and I believe it was in Texas. His wife break up with him in the same church. He's the youth minister. She gets with the choir director. And they still come into church, the same church. They got children together, and he has to see her with another man in the church, the youth director for the same church. They get into an altercation. The choir director pulls out a gun, chases him down a block, shoots and kills him. This is what is happening in the Black Christian church. Chaos and scattering of God's people.
Right.
Give me some more.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
After the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
After the rudiments of the world and not after Christ.
Right.
This pastor was not after Christ. He was after Cristal. He wasn't after Christ. He was after popping bottles, living the good life, wearing the best fabrics, the best designer clothing, and driving the best cars. That's what he was about.
Right.
So with that, we're gonna wrap it up, y'all. I'll be back next week. Next Wednesday, make sure you tune in. I'm gonna bring a heavy class. Of course, I'm gonna go into some history. Did we even go into any history? I don't think I went into any history. I said some history. I spoke some history, right? I talked about slavery. What else I talk about? I talked about some things. But next week we'll go into some good history, right? I'm going to talk about the chariots of Israel. Okay. So you make sure you tune in. I will be talking about the chariots of Israel, and we will be going into the breakdown, into the understanding of what chariots are. Many of you already know what they are. We will go over some other stuff also. And so make sure you up in there, all right? With that, that's the class. Let's clap it up. Any announcements? Anything?
So I don't think security announcements.
We good on them. We good on them. We just going.
Cookouts from the 26th to 29th.
Okay, the cookout is on the 26th to the 29th. So, like I was saying earlier in the class, if you want to actually see what brotherhood is like, if you're not unfamiliar with the I.S.U.P.K, but you do understand what I was saying about how it is when black people get together, how something always happens, if you lose something, you ain't gonna find it again, all of those type of things, and you want to see something different, then make sure you can get to the California cookout or any cookout wherever you are, so you could just experience what brotherhood and real unity is, and not have to worry about it getting shot up like at a Juneteenth event. Okay. With that, I'm going to give y'all some shout outs for the brothers and sisters that were in the class tonight. Let me just scroll up. Shout out to Sister Barata Nawa, officer U.P.K. Quadash Ya Allah. Congratulations on your name. Let's clap it up for that, brother. Sister Renee Gaines in the house from Louisville, Kentucky. Princess Nakaf is in the house. Officer 5000 Madabar, my main man, is in the house. David Coronado is in the house. Shalom to you, brother. Officer Natazak was in the house. Daughter of a King was in the house. Shalom to you, sister. Black Dazzle was in the house. Shalom to you also, sis. Let me see. Is that John Harmon too was in the house. Shalom, Lord and Christ to you also, brother. Let's see. Olivia Arnold was in the house. Shalom to you too, sis. And I think that's about it. All right, Israel. Shalom, Lord and Christ. We'll see you again next Wednesday. Tune in for the Chariots of Israel. Let's clap it up.